Welcome back. And now I'm so delighted to be accompanied over the phone by His Excellency Ambassador Ayman Musharrafa, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening and good evening to the audience.
Thank you so much. Well, Your Excellency, of course, you've seen the escalation that has been happening lately in the Gaza Strip and in Gaza in general, which, of course, a lot of development has been happening, especially this week, and especially after the declaration of the UN of a real massive famine that is happening there.
Well, I mean, the situation is very dire, and the Secretary General of the United Nations have declared famine in Gaza, which constitutes a crime of war, and the FAO have declared famine in Gaza too, and most of the specialized agency of the United Nations, which is related to the human welfare, have declared the situation is very dire, and like WHO, like UNICEF, like up till now, 62,000 human beings, Gazans, have lost their life, and you have more than 150,000 injured. 90% of the hospitals are out of operation, and one upon three in Gaza, they eat one meal each 3 days, which constitute really a crime.
Well, of course, also they declared a martyr, 5 martyrs per hour, something like that, and more children dying. But can you tell us more about the response of Egypt to the UN declaration, and how is the procedures going right now when it comes to the Egyptian side?
Well, since a long time, since the outset of the crisis, Egypt has deplored the international community to intervene, to pressure Israel to stop the war and to have a permanent ceasefire and to establish a line of humanitarian aid to the Gazan, so they could have food in dignity. But even the food hubs or the airdrop are not enough, and most of the the distribution hubs that the Israeli have created is becoming a death trap. More than, as you said, 5 persons are finding death each minute there in Gaza, or each hour. I don't know exactly the number, but most of the people who are helpless for food, they are facing death, and because the contractor or the Israeli army are shooting at them directly, which constitutes a crime or a premeditated crime of murder.
Of course, this is not just a genocide. This is, of course, attacking civilians. We've seen this everywhere. Like before, Israel maybe has been lying about her plans, but it's very clear to the whole world, and of course to the international community, to the criminal court, to the international laws. So I think Egypt, of course, Egypt is facing lots of challenges, but Egypt has been facing this period of starvation with more conveys and more aids to Gaza. And as you said, the problem is that the Israeli occupation forces always shoots when it comes to the aid and the distribution areas.
80%, before the crisis, 80% of the food, medical aid, or human help was coming through the Rafah border crossing. The Rafah border crossing was the only outlet and the only hope to the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, and the Rafah border crossing was never closed to humanitarian aid. But from the Palestinian side of the Rafah border, it was destroyed by the Israeli forces, and it was totally stopped due to the offensive military operation. And even Egypt have opened their airports, their borders, even ports, and all the roads to Palestine, to help the Palestinian and to assimilate aid to the starving people. But you have a piling convoys full of food in front of the border, and even some of those convoys, the foodstuff are expiring, because it has a certain limit due to the Israeli administrative and refusal to enter the aid, because the systematic policy is to starve the Palestinians, to force them to leave.
And in your point of view, how do you see the role of the UN Security Council when it comes to its pivotal role in solving such humanitarian crisis?
Well, the Security Council, as an organ which keeps peace and stability around the world, and it should sanction Israel. It should impose sanctions, that they impose severe sanction on Israel to coerce them to stop war and to come to their senses. But without having a Security Council resolution, all the resolutions from the General Assembly or other organ of the United Nations are tasteless. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't force Israel to stop the madness.
Well, of course, when it comes to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, lots of negotiations and lots of mediation been happening when it comes to this crisis, but also the UN, I feel like the international community is still watching somehow, or Israel on the other side is declining every and any way of finding a solution or a state two-state solution, or the decline of the displacements of Palestinians, as all the NGOs, the international community, and of course the Arab country is calling for?
Well, the Israeli political elite have spelled it out very clearly. They are looking for greater Israel. They are looking for expansion. Netanyahu said it bluntly that he wants to destroy Hamas. He wants to displace the Palestinians to neighboring countries. He didn't hide it. And even all his plans is extending to Jerusalem, to the West Bank. And some maps have been shown on some Israelis' network about the greater Israel, which, is very dangerous. And most of the people, the politicians who are a member of this Israeli government are coming from the far right, like Ben Gvir, like Smotrich. Those people are oblivious to the blood of the Palestinians, even inciting for violence, inciting the army to kill more Palestinians and to have this greater Israel. You have this Talmudic view of the solution. So, the two-state solution for them is not viable.
And of course, it's not just that. Now we see the UN also declared the 5th stage of starvation. It never happened before in anywhere in the world, and now it's happening only in Gaza.
It's a shame on humanity. What is happening, it's a shame on humanity. And the international community and the international Western government should interfere before it's too late.
Well, we've seen only from the Western government, I guess, only the nations that is speaking loud now. Lots of voices from different parts of the world, and we cannot deny, of course, different countries also made it to calling for Gaza's peace, France, Ireland, and all of those, Italy too, but this is not enough.
Well, we do appreciate the sympathy of the public opinion, the sympathy of the NGOs, the sympathy of the people. But we need governments to act. We need government to act, and quickly and swiftly.
And what is the consequences, in your point of view, whether they rapidly can indulge with such stopping of the war, or more encouraging of more mediation, of more negotiations? But the problem is always is that Israel, when it comes to negotiations and there is a deal, it always messes up with the deal when it comes to the last minute negotiations.
Well, the Egyptian mediation and the Qatari mediation have presented several time initiatives, has presented several time package deals for the cessation of hostility and the exchange of prisoners and ceasefire. But each time the Israeli government is changing the rule of the game, adding more details, adding more conditions. So they are just spoiling any deal. They are just wasting time. This government doesn't want peace. This government wants the extension of the war, the extension of hostility, because they know very well if there is peace, if there is a permanent ceasefire. I mean, at the end of the day, the government will fall, and many of them, they will go to court, and they will be accountable against justice.
Well, Your Excellency, Ambassador Ayman Musharrafa, former Assistant Foreign Minister, I would like to thank you so much for your informative call. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a short break, and we'll be back.